What if one glitch in the Matrix, just 782 wild seatbelt shredding seconds, could yank an entire franchise from title sleeper to toast? Picture this. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP trophy still warm in his hands, flicks his wrist once, twice, and the Wolves' playoff dreams fall faster than a crypto crash. By the time fans could finish a soda run, Oklahoma City had detonated a 39-14 carpet bombing. Rudy's defensive player banners looked like outdated ads, and Anthony Edwards' swagger turned into silent side-eye. 13 minutes. That's shorter than a Drake single, yet long enough to flip the conference finals on its head, and maybe bury Minnesota's season 6 feet under Paycom Center hardwood. Stick around, because the meltdown you're about to see isn't just historic, it's the basketball equivalent of watching a roller coaster hop the tracks in slow motion. Thrilling, terrifying, and impossible to look away from. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's grin during the pre-game ceremony looked harmless enough, until you noticed the eyes. For years, superstars have wilted under the weight of an MVP trophy's shine, throwing up anxious bricks the very next night. Shai treated it like a license to hunt. 38 points on surgical efficiency, wrong foot drives, right lean bank runners, feathery elbow pull-ups, 15 trips to the line. Only 2 of them even disputed. When Commissioner Silver handed over the gold, you could sense OKC's huddle thinking, let's hand Minnesota the receipt. By the second quarter, Shai had edged 11 paint touches and 8 free throws. By the third, he was orchestrating a highlight reel without ever cracking 90% sprint. But that wasn't the whole story, because Minnesota's scheme may as well have sent a handwritten invite. Rudy Gobert, 3-time defensive player, lives to swallow lobs and erase floaters. Trouble is, Shai doesn't need lobs. He thrives in the soft, 12-foot pocket Rudy surrenders in drop coverage. Picture it. McDaniels fights over a screen, Gobert lumbers backward, and Shai strolls into that mid-paint sweet spot he's repped since AAU days. Swish. Repeat. By halftime, Shai had scored or assisted on 44% of OKC's possessions out of pick and roll. And on the other end, Rudy's hands turned to cinder blocks. One clean strip by Ludort even drew a sympathetic groan from the home PA guy. Finch tried hedging for 2 possessions. Gobert's feet tangled like earbuds in a gym bag. So they bounced back to drop, and Shai bounced the Wolves out of the building. Desperation birthed ingenuity. Briefly. Mid-second quarter, Finch unwrapped a surprise 1-2-2 zone with Jaden McDaniels prowling the top like a greyhound. Magic struck. Shai picked up the dribble, kicked to a reluctant shooter, and Minnesota raced off the miss. The crowd roared, then watched the zone vanish faster than a Snapchat memory. For 3 straight possessions, the Wolves reverted to man, leaving Gobert in, yes, drop. On the bench, Naz Reid glanced sideways like, we practicing these swaps? By night's end, players admitted they were working through communication kinks. Translation. They weren't sure which defense they were in half the time. And what happened next would spark a citywide debate. Thunder skeptics flooded timelines with clips titled The MVP Whistle, slow-mowing Shai's subtle hip nudges and knee swivels. Wolves Twitter cried foul, literally, accusing refs of gifting the MVP glow. Neutral analysts, though, so footwork sorcery? Shai hangs that dribble until defenders feel obligated to step under, then slices through the vacuum. Finch's staff privately told beat writers they'd rather give up floaters than free throws in bunches, but the numbers don't lie. Shai attempted more freebies in 2 games than Ant and Randall combined. Can Minnesota fight artistry with artistry? One assistant hinted they might mirror bait with bait. Translation. Teach Ant some of those dark arts moves before Game 3. But rumor has it the front court tension might matter even more. Sources around the locker room whisper that Rudy's stone hands aren't the only gripe. Teammates bristle at possessions where he backpedals instead of sprinting in transition. Julius Randle, meanwhile, has spent more time yapping at refs than rotating. His jog on Shai's coast-to-coast dunk lit up every effort cam breakdown online. Finch faces a lose-lose. bench a max salary big in the conference finals, or ride the Titanic's orchestra till the last note. Nas Reed delivered 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting in a measly 17 minutes, then sat iced, while Gobert returned. If Finch yanks Rudy early in Game 3, the locker room ripples could turn tidal. And just when fans finished doom-scrolling, Oklahoma City unleashed their hidden daggers. Thunder GM Sam Presti loves length and IQ, and nights like this justify the obsession. Jalen Williams bullied Conley to the rack, fading baseline for "you're too small" smirks. Chet Holmgren slipped a short roll dime to Alex Caruso. Yes, the bold Mamba who hadn't looked at the rim all game, forcing 2 weak-side defenders to collide like mall walkers. Even Lou Dort, career 33% deep shooter, splashed a dagger 3 because Minnesota forgot him for the 4th straight possession. Suddenly, it wasn't just Shai's show. It was a symphony of role players punishing every hesitation. Ant responded with an acrobatic reverse, but the air was gone. The meltdown was loading. Clock reads 7:12, second quarter. Wolves within 5. Over the next 13 minutes, Shai touches paint 11 times, 0 turnovers. Thunder out-rebound Wolves 15-6. Minnesota shoots 4 for 16, including 4 air balls. The back-breaking possession, Shai probes, retreats, probes again, draws Rudy's arm flag, converts a 3-point play. Wolves' shoulders sagged like wardrobe's missing hangers. Finch called 2 timeouts. The second featured more stare down than speech. By the time Edwards finally trapped Shai at half court, the margin was 21, and the building's exit signs glowed brighter than Minnesota's chances. But the drama doesn't end on the court. Local columnist Dane Moore posed the blunt question: if you can't scheme for one ball handler, can you scheme for a title? Twitter birthed the hashtag #signing Finch figure it out before the team plane even landed. Insiders note Finch inked an extension last summer, but only half of it is guaranteed. Ownership hates dead money almost as much as losing in blowouts. A Game 3 flop could drag front office daggers into daylight. Yet there's a counter-narrative. Players love the man. Benching Gobert could fracture that support, but so could sticking with him. Welcome to Coaching Purgatory, and speaking of crossroads, 7%. That's the historical chance of a team down 0-2 after dropping both on the road to win the series, fall to 0-3, and the percentage plummets to 0. Anthony Edwards, never shy, told reporters, "Pressure? Nah, it's basketball." Fans adore the swagger. Stats frown on hubris. Minnesota's wish list reads like a TikTok caption: trap early, crash everything, play Nas more, live with Dort's bricks. But that wasn't the whole story. What has to change tonight? Blitz every high pick within the first 5 seconds, force Shai to give it up, then face guard him with Edwards. Shrink Gobert's leash. If he can't catch pocket passes, ride Reed or McDaniels at center and outrun Holmgren. Tag rollers from the weak side, not the strong. Reduces corner threes and buys recovery time. Sprint back mentality. Treat every made basket like a turnover. Find Shai, bump him at half court. Let Conley cook, break the veteran's pace and chessboard brain, or Minnesota's last stabilizer. Execute half that list, and the series returns to a heartbeat. Fail, and history sharpens its pen. 13 minutes wrote Minnesota's darkest chapter yet, but basketball scripts flip fast. A single trap, a single turnover, a single Ant-Man explosion can ignite the bonfire the Wolves thought they'd lit back in November. Remember, every dynasty's origin story begins with a gut check. Tonight decides whether those 13 minutes become an epitaph or the prologue to a comeback Netflix will someday over-dramatize. The clock is merciless. So is Shai. Buckle up.